Hi everyone. I wanted to just go live with you all today. For those of you in my group, I came across a really interesting article. It's a Politico article, and I'll put the link in here. I realize things are a little bright out here right now, but I figured I would have you guys join me in the California sunshine, and if I really need to, I do have my little glasses happening here, so maybe I'll put those on. Okay. So I found this article. That just doesn't feel right. I found this article to be really interesting. Essentially what they did was they took opinions of, 34 kind of well-known thinkers, and had them comment on different topics around coronavirus. And I found some of these observations just interesting and figured I would use this article to share 3 of the different points that were made. So I'll go through each of those 3 and feel free to comment, be with me in this, and also your comments, of course, are always welcomed in the actual comment section. So please feel free to participate, and I'll certainly come back if you're listening to a replay and answer or participate with you. So this article is called Coronavirus Will Change the World Permanently, Here's How. And it basically discusses how a crisis on this scale can reorder society in really dramatic ways, for better or worse. And so we're going to take a look at 3 of the ways that people were commenting about this. So Amy Sullivan wrote a little segment about religious worship will look different. And she basically spends the beginning of it talking about kind of the upcoming holidays and how Christians, of course, will celebrate Easter. And Trump, as we know, came out yesterday or the day before with a statement that he's hoping that we can all celebrate together. I know there's a lot of kind of questioning around that. And again, as always, just important to listen to medical authorities that really understand and know this topic. But regardless, a really interesting thing to contemplate. I'm sure a lot of you are, many of us are in kind of week 2, myself included, of being in a stay-at-home environment. So that's been very interesting and different to disrupt some of the normal routines that we have, especially ones that really keep us healthy. So I know for myself, I continue to go out for my daily runs and continue my meditation practice. Of course, I'm in connection with people and trying to connect with friends and family. So those are, little things that we can do, but I found this very interesting in terms of the upcoming holidays. So she spends the beginning of the article kind of talking about, the Christians with Easter. And actually on that note, it's been very interesting for me because a lot of Christians are also giving something up for Lent. And as many of you are likely aware, that Lent represents the 40 days that Jesus was in the desert and was tempted. And so as a part of Lent, often people will give something up to unite themselves in heart and mind with Jesus and with the sacrifice that he was making during that time. So I actually know of a number of people who decided for Lent that they would give up television or Netflix, and it's interesting to see how people have really remained true to that during this time. So, hi David, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. It's so nice to be with you. So, I'm just in the middle of commenting about a really neat Politico article that I read, commenting on some different prominent thinkers in our society, their thoughts about how coronavirus might change things for the good or for the worse, but I'm focusing on 3 particular topics here. So the one we're addressing right now is how religious worship will look different. Also, of course, for the Jews, there's the Passover Seder, and Muslim families, they have Ramadan as well. So here's what she says. All faiths have dealt with the challenge of keeping faith alive under the adverse conditions of war or diaspora or persecution, but never all faiths at the same time. So very interesting point. A religion in the time of quarantine will challenge conceptions of what it means to minister and to fellowship, but it will also expand the opportunities for those who have no local congregation to sample sermons from afar. This is a really neat point as well. So part of the reason why I'm commenting on it is so that all of you do understand and know that there are resources available to you. Certainly, I hope that within our group, you're enjoying the Monday meditations and that people are finding those helpful, especially now. I'm trying to kind of cater them to what people might be going through. But also I've noticed, for example, here in LA, the congregation that I often attend is called Agape International. It's run by Michael Beckwith. And right now, as always, they actually have their services online. So it's quite a large online community. Even during the service when we're there live, we're welcoming our brothers and sisters internationally and around the country who are tuning in live. But I've noticed that they are also offering every single morning at 8 a.m. they're going live, and every single day at noon they're going live. The morning time is prayer time, and the noon time is meditation. So it's really nice that they're offering these services to people. Let's see. So she also states in this article, contemplative practices may gain popularity, and maybe, just maybe, the cultural war that has branded those who preach about the common good with the epithet social justice warriors may ease amid the very present reminder of our interconnected humanity. So what I assume she's referring to here, this was also an interesting point to me, that essentially we've come into a time where we have, we've had to kind of label people who care about the common good as social justice warriors instead of that being something that's typical. So yes, David, you say, I find myself often in prayer and I'm so glad services are online. Yes, I so agree. And, you know, just to comment on this, I mean, I know sometimes people affiliate prayer with a particular religion or a particular state. And I want to just comment here that really prayer is probably something that you're doing already if you don't realize it. Kind of to your point, David, that even when we're consciously aware of our inner thoughts, we, in our awareness of our inner thoughts, especially the negative ones, we can consciously respond to that with prayer. And so that may look like something positive, but if you're not quite there yet, then maybe it's an ask from whatever it is that you believe in, whether you use the G word, whether you use Mother Nature, whether you use Great Spirit, or whatever higher power it is that you believe in, that you really could simply just ask for help. You know, I might say something like, oh, in this moment, God, just relieve me and open my heart, or help me to think of others, or I may actually shift into a prayer that is directly for someone else who I know is in need. So, for example, during this time, it's been so amazing really to be a part of an online community, and weighing heavy on my heart right now is one Facebook friend who just lost a baby. And so the baby was delivered and born at term, but was delivered and came into this world sleepy and then passed. And so the grief that that family is in right now is just practically inconceivable. So it actually, for me, I'm thinking of them a lot and holding them in my heart. And anytime I find that I'm having anything negative come in, it's so easy for me to just go there and to think of them and what they're going through right now, and really how lucky and fortunate I am in my situation. So yes, okay, returning to the article. So, oh, and I thought I'd also just mention here, I have noticed also in terms of contemplative practices that it's been so lovely to see people giving in different ways. One of my good friends and a woman who I very much respect, she's a priest, an author, a speaker, and her name's Mary Frances Drake. You can look her up online on Facebook. She is doing rosary prayers every day or every night, and she also has created a prayer tree. So this is a tree that she has, and when people respond, she's adding names to it, and then it's she's praying for those people when she's doing the rosary every day. So people can join her for that. I'm sure you can find her online. I think her name's probably fairly unusual, but if not, I also imagine you can go into my friends and look at my friends and find her through that, Mary Frances Drake. So join her for the rosary. And I have already cleared with her for all of you. I cleared with her that I too would like to copy her idea and do a prayer tree. So I'm going to be creating that and reaching out, and anybody who would like prayers, I will add you to the tree, and I'll be praying for you on a daily basis. So the next article that I found very interesting, A Healthier Digital Lifestyle. So this is by Sherry Turkey, and Sherry writes, perhaps we can use our time with our devices to rethink the kinds of community we can create through them. In the earliest days of our coronavirus social distancing, we have seen inspirational first examples. Cello master Yo-Yo Ma posts a daily live concert of a song that sustains him. So beautiful. Thank you, you beautiful person, Yo-Yo Ma. Broadway diva Laura Benanti. Sorry, I'm trying not to botch her name. She is inviting, so her name is spelled Benanti, if you want to look her up. Invites performers from high school musicals who have not been able to put on those shows. She's asking that they send her their live performances, and that she'll be watching them, each of them. And in addition to her, Lin-Manuel Miranda also joined and said that he promises to watch as well. So very cool that other kind of high-profile people are coming into that, and just giving props to those guys that have done so much hard work to prepare. As we also are seeing with athletes, I mean, I can't even imagine the Olympians that, you know, have been planning on Japan, and now certainly their worlds are turned upside down. I'm sure, you know, something that they've put their entire heart and soul into, and of course the incredible training and dieting and everything that goes into getting there for that, that peak performance. Obviously is shifting for all of them. So she also writes, entrepreneurs offer time to listen to pitches. Master yoga instructors teach free classes. This is a different life on the screen, from disappearing into a video game or polishing one's avatar. This is breaking open a medium with human generosity and empathy. Yay! Let's do it, guys. This is looking within and asking, what can I authentically offer? I have a life, a history, and what do people need? And David, I know because you're here with me, and I am so going to pray for you, and I will add you to the prayer tree. But also just knowing that there are people there who are like online with me right now, like David, who offer through their own experience and what they've gone through in life, really offering comfort to others through that. It's a really beautiful thing. So she also says, if moving forward, we apply our most human instincts to our devices, that will have been a powerful COVID-19 legacy. Not alone together, but together alone. So I really loved that. I also am going to post along with this, I'll post a video. So for example, in terms of all these positive things happening, a friend of mine actually sent me a text that I got to wake up to, and it's by the Virtual Orchestra, and it's the song What the World Needs Now. So I'm gonna go ahead and post that. Hopefully that'll bring smiles to faces. The third point that I really loved was by Jonathan Ruach, and his article is New Forms of Reform. And this one I thought was really powerful. I love how he ties things in here to the AIDS epidemic. So he says, one group of Americans that has lived through a transformational epidemic in recent memory, gay men. Of course, HIV/AIDS was and is different in all kinds of ways from coronavirus, but one lesson is likely to apply. Plagues drive change. Partly because our government failed us, gay Americans mobilized to build organizations, networks, and know-how that changed our place in society and have enduring legacies today. At the end of this, I'm actually going to give you some movie suggestions because I know most of us are at home. So if you're curious about this, I chose a few really powerful films that likely many of you have seen, but maybe some of them will be new to you, that really represent this time in our history. And it is incredible to learn about, really such important information to know and understand. And I love how Jonathan Ruach brings this home and kind of full circle with, as you're watching these films, that I'll suggest to really keep in mind the change that was born out of the suffering that happened and the lack of organization and lack of support from our government and politicians, and the possibilities now. So he states, the epidemic also revealed deadly flaws in the healthcare system, and it awakens us to the need for the protection of marriage, revelations which led to landmark reforms. So true, thank God. I mean, we're really living different lives because of the laws that were passed and changed. And I believe different hearts, because when our laws actually support loving others and accepting more and understanding different ways of life, then we are moving in the right direction. He states, I wouldn't be surprised to see some analogous changes in the wake of coronavirus. People are finding new ways to connect and support each other in adversity. They are sure to demand major changes in the healthcare system and maybe also the government, and they'll become newly conscious of interdependency and community. I can't predict the precise effects, but I'm sure we'll be seeing them for years. Love that. So the films that I highly recommend, yes, David, I'm so glad you're commenting yes to that. So the films that I would recommend, please do watch them during this time if you've got time on your hands or you're looking for things to watch. So many of you have probably seen Dallas Buyers Club. And this is a 2013 biographical film. It tells the story of Ron Woodruff, played by Matthew McConaughey, an AIDS patient in the mid-1980s when treatments were far under-researched. So this is really at the beginning of the crisis. It's an incredible film. If you haven't seen it, definitely do. Another one of my faves is Milk, and this is about Harvey Milk, who was one of the he was the first openly gay person to be elected to public office in California as a member of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. So that story also, it's very inspirational, and is really amazing. Also, I had actually forgotten about this film, and I saw it a long time ago. This is going to be a rewatch for me. And The Normal Heart is a 2014 documentary, drama, that tells the story of Ned Weeks, and this is played by Mark Ruffalo, a New York-based writer in the 1980s, and he and his friends joined forces to expose the truth about the severity of HIV/AIDS crisis when both the government and society are ignoring the epidemic. Really powerful film as well. The other one, the last one that I'm going to mention here, is How to Survive a Plague. Sort of interesting title in relation to our current day experience. This film is a 2012 documentary about the early years of the AIDS epidemic and efforts made by ACT UP and TAG, Treatment Action Group, TAG, to fight the disease. So I wanted to mention that, and I wanted to mention those organizations doing such amazing things. So nice. David has seen all of them. Love it. So for those of you who are interested, please enjoy those films, and I hope that this was just a nice little time together, and calling out, just trying to be with you all and serve the positive ways that we can be. So hopefully this was helpful, and take those 3 little points to heart. And I am so looking forward to being in this positive experience that I have with you all over Facebook. I'm so grateful for each of you. And Lucille, I see that you jumped in. So glad to see you. And love to you all. Blessings. Stay safe. Wash hands. And stay at home if you're supposed to. Be careful, but mostly give and receive love during this time, and do the things that really keep your mind and your heart right and on straight and soft and loving. And so my heart is with you all. I will be creating our prayer tree, and you'll all hear about that. So thank you to my friend Mary Frances Drake for that lovely idea. And again, check out her rosary class if you're interested at all in that, or you've never prayed the rosary before. It's really amazing, so special to be in the energy of Mother Mary, one of the pinnacle examples of wisdom, grace, truth, beauty. So love to you all, and in that spirit, have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you all again on Monday.